This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Hey there, it's Brian Sebastian, Movie Reviews and More. And if it's Tuesday, you know, it's, first of all, it's Giving Tuesday, but also we are on show 113th, our 113th live show in a row. So, and we're halfway through August, almost, and summer's almost over because people are going back to school. But here's the thing. I'm Brian Sebastian, Movie Reviews and More, and we are live on Talk 4 TV, Talk 4 Media, K4HD Radio, and streaming on over 100 outlets around the world. And this is a fun show because we have a friend that I haven't seen in a long time, Sadie Katz. I watch her all the time, and it's always interesting to see what she's doing. You might know her from Blood Feast, you know, House of, you know, what is it, House of Bag, or what's the other one, Sadie?
Wrong Turn.
She's done so many, you know, Wrong Turn Sick, Last Resort, all of them. See, this is why I don't like doing introductions. Sadie, tell us everything that you've done. Go ahead. She's a writer, director, producer, actress.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, you just said before we went on, you said that I haven't been on since 2022, which is so crazy to me because I feel like we just talked.
No, well, we do talk. It's just like we you know, we did talk recently, but you know, I'm on my friend's farm, Diana. She's upstairs right now. You know, I talk to Rachel every day, almost every day, and Howard once or twice a week sometimes. And so it's one of those things where we kind of did talk. But here's the thing, you know, Rachel, she has not aged since I last saw in person. 22. She hasn't. She looks exactly the same, and she's a mom now. When I saw her, she was pregnant. When I last saw her.
I have a 23-year-old, and now I have a baby that you might hear in the background losing his mind with grandma, but who is going to be 2 next month. So I'm doing it all over again, which is
you know what? I did the same thing. I have a 17 and a 9-year-old. So I mean, I thought it was done, and then like, bam, like it.
Oh my God, boys or girls? One of each.
I've got 2 boys.
What
about you?
That's fascinating.
2 boys. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I could do, girl. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of incredible to go through it again.
It is. I know what you're doing. I do. It is.
Hey, Rachel, so tell her who you are, where you coming from.
Okay, so I'm Rachel Ann Roberts. I'm a little, I don't know what to call myself, a little chef here in Houston, Texas. But I have a morning show called Coffee Talk. And, you know, I've been with Brian doing Movie Reviews and More for a few years. And I just love Brian. He's really amazing. So I love it. And so, and a lot of other things too, do some commercials and work with a little bit with Fox News and every now and then, and you know, writing a book, Eat Clean, Drink a Little Dirty. And yeah, Terri, I need to talk to you soon.
Hey, all right, so since she mentioned Terri, tell her, you know, Sadie, I don't know if you've ever met Sadie.
No, I have not. I'm sorry, I joined a little bit late. I had to do I was on a work call. So I'm nonstop for a reason. Anyway, I've been with Brian since 2014. I have been a fitness competitor. I'm trying to get back on stage, but I've had some challenges, but I'm working on it. But I've won several shows. I've won Muscle Beach. I've won several NPC shows. I was Miss Fitness LA I've also done acting off and on my whole life. I also dabble in a little bit of art. And then I also work in the medical field with orthopedics.
Red carpet. Oh, you're
yeah, I do
the red
carpet interviews with Brian. That's one of my favorite things to do. Is I work with Brian a lot of the red carpet events, gig and that kind of stuff. Interviewing celebrities. So I try to have a lot of fun and try to stay active and motivate women. All through different ages. I'm in my 50s and life is short, and take care of yourself and eat clean and work
Drink
out.
a little dirty.
Drink a little dirty.
So yes, of course, still enjoy my wine. Life is a balance, and that's a little bit about me.
Howard Wiggins.
Howard Wiggins. I'm one of the world's 35 leading interior designers. I just did a little part in a movie this Sunday where I played a cop. And I guess I must have been convincing because I came up to the car with a gun and then I pulled the guy out, and a car coming down the street stopped and said, did you need any help? And I'm like, a cop if he needs help, So I thought that was funny. And then let's say I'm Little Roy Wiggins, I'm son of Little Roy Wiggins, play steel guitar with Eddie Arnold. I've got a new style of design, which I call stacked and layered, which you can see pictures on my Facebook page on that. And I just came out with a little TV episode called My Father Made Me Marry His Boss, a Billionaire, or something like that. I played the part of the billionaire. And I really
played it
like
well.
that. I was a nasty old man.
Yeah, but that's someone like you, and you did it.
Yeah.
You did it well.
You just have to watch it.
Yeah,
Completely out of character. For me.
That's what acting's about, though.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, Sadie, let me ask you this. Since you're that writer, producer, actress, director, what are you looking for when you do the things that you're doing? Because you've done a lot of stuff.
Oh gosh. It's funny. I say this as kind of an odd brag, but I just realized I went over 100 films, 100 projects on IMDb.
Wow.
I mean, some of them we wish they would go away, or some of them I don't know anything about that project. But yeah, what's funny is like, because I just had my other baby who's 2, and when I had my son Griffin, who's 23, I was like, pursuing acting, and I was at like the very beginning of doing student films. I was in my early 20s. And, I kind of had to just take what I could get and then run with it. So like in the horror community is super great about that. So, you end up getting involved in the horror community and then sci-fi, and, then you build up your resume and you start doing other genres. I think now what's kind of interesting is I love playing sexy. Like that's really fun. But I have to say, as of late, I keep getting these, offers, and then I go, yeah, but the character's only sexy. Like you should get, and I don't mean this because I do think you could be sexy at any age, but I go, someone who's 25, who like is new in the business and they want to play sexy and they're stoked about it and they're going to jump up and down. Like, I'm not going to be that excited to show up and just like die in a chair. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I never wanted, I've always been the antagonist. I don't mind playing, the protagonist, but I'm like, I would rather, if I'm just going to play like, hey there, I know how to do that. I just got offered this lovely script. It was great. And I was supposed to be like a prostitute. And I started doing it and I was like, why does this feel so weird? And I'm like, because I've done this. Like, I know this character really well. So right now I'm kind of doing stuff like, I played a cop, played a detective. I'm playing adults. I played an ex-military person, which, you do have to have a little bit of gravity to you, a little life experience to come at those roles. So kind of something that I feel like maybe I have something that only, someone my age with my experience can like nail this character, rather than like me trying to keep up with the kiddies, you know.
So, Sadie, remember this photo?
Yes. That's
awesome.
You remember that one?
Yeah, I love that. Is that supposed to be Elton John?
It was Elton John.
Elton John looks awful.
That's something Rachel would say. No, you look good because that was a great bodysuit that you had on. It was
I know
fabulous.
that thing is so cool. Do you still have that?
Really cool.
I do have it, and I was gonna wear it last year, but I ended up not going out. And I'm embarrassing. I love Halloween, but I don't care about dressing up, like doing my hair and makeup with like gore. So yeah, I still have it, and you know what? It's the world's most flattering bodysuit. Everyone should have one. It's so great. It's really comfortable. Yeah.
Is that spandex kind of stuff?
It's not spandex, so it doesn't really hold you together, but it's got like this great optical illusion.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I keep trying. I was supposed to do like a movie with aliens, and I said you guys should buy these and have all the girls walking. No one was as convinced, so thank you for appreciating that costume.
So Sadie, I'm asking for friends. Since I'm not that actor or producer that way, I always ask questions from my friends who I know who want to get those jobs. So Terri likes horror; she's that actress. Howard loves to be. I mean, you saw the opening that we have where he's cut up like that. And Rachel, I think we should cut her head off in one of these films. that you have her in.
She's got a beautiful head.
Well, she'd like to see her head roll around the floor and pick it up and put it back on. That would be fun. So what are you looking for? Oh yeah. What are you looking for when you're looking for that as that director, as that writer, as that producer? Because I always ask for my friends.
You know what? I really think, I'm sort of a fan of I just am a fan of like naturalistic acting, and I want to see someone when they're really scared to maybe be a little messy. But you have to be careful when you say that, because on camera I've done that before. Like it's not you're just out of control snotting. But I do think having some like natural vulnerability. I really love. I'm kind of Meisner, so I want somebody to. I want someone to spar with me. You know what I mean? I want that like real connection. And I tell people this. It's a little secret, and such an easy secret. And it's funny how so many people don't know this. I'm like, you must learn how to give great eye contact. Like you must be in their soul. It's really hard to act with someone who's not doing that. But the second you do that, you lock in on someone. Everything opens, your eyes start watering. So it's like, it's the biggest cheat is if you just sit and you be present. And then, you can mumble. You're like, you just got to get the lines out there. Yeah. So I think I look for authenticity and also someone who you want to spend time with on set. Like
I did the Meisner technique. I did that. I studied that. Yeah.
I love it. Like a good repeat exercise is my also I always say, when you're asking someone what's their allergies and everything, this is my controversial opinion. If they have a lot of allergies, like I'm gluten and I'm vegan, but then they offer to bring their own food, you're good. If they have all these allergies and they don't, you should cast someone else. I don't care what they do. I don't care how sexy they are. I don't care how talented they are. I don't care who their mom is, their dad is. I don't care how many followers they have, because you're gonna have a nightmare on your hands.
That's what all fitness people do. That's what we do when we compete. We all meal prep and we take our little containers because we're all pain in the ass. Like I had an ex-boyfriend he used to go to dinner with, and I would drive him crazy because I'd have to order everything a certain way. But I was like, if we want to go to dinner, I have to order it this way. But, again, like that situation, I totally get it, because I'd have to bring my like chicken and my vegetables and everything. Yeah. So everybody like think I'm nuts, but at least I'd have my own food there.
But you're just on set with so long. And if you're doing it you know, if you're filming, even if you're filming, you know, millions of dollars or you're on an indie budget, it's a little family, and it's a little, I hate using that, but it's true. And it's a little, you don't just live with them when you're shooting, you know, let's say you're shooting 30 days or something, then the next year that film is like a part of your life. And if there's someone that's a headache, it's like, you know, it becomes a real thing. And sometimes people can be really talented actors. They're not really good in the business of it. You know, they're hard to get along with. So I say you have to start there, and you have to also get someone who is able to adjust and be present, because, you know, if you end up giving them different dialogue or whatever, it can be a real thing. And I think a lot of producers and beginning producers are just like, I discovered this amazing actress and she's so great and she's beautiful and she cries on cue. And I'm like, let's talk. Like, that's great. Those are great, wonderful things. But let's talk about, like, you know, does she have a lot of girlfriends? Is she fun to work with? Do we, you know, does she care about other characters beyond hers? So, or same things with men, you know. So that's my big tip.
I agree on that. Let's see this this trailer that you're having, and then, you know, let's talk about it.
Okay.
Is it time to get up already?
Happy anniversary.
Is it today? Happy anniversary.
This is Rhodes. I have information about your wife. We found another body last night. The wounds are just like Tammy's. Now, all this time, we figured Tammy's murder was a random act. Where were we? Now, apparently that is not the case. But I am reinstating you on a provisional basis. This guy is taunting you, but he wants you in play. So, let's put you in play. Who would do something like this?
For what?
There's Peter and your wife. Do you know any of the other victims?
It was some ungodly type of howl.
Looks like there's going to be a full moon tonight.
The last suspect?
You look familiar. I get that a lot.
That looks great.
That's a great line.
Where can we watch that?
It's being released on all outlets in the next 2 weeks. So I don't know. People either get this or they don't. It's very funny. So I announced when I got this movie, that, you know, I got this movie with Bronzy, who obviously looks like very familiar to everyone, right? So he is made. So I then a friend of mine called and goes, "You're working with Bronzy? He looks just like Charles Bronson." I said, "Yeah." And he goes, No. He's his own movie genre. And I went, "What?" So I didn't really get it. Then I show up on set and I'm like, okay, I'm doing a werewolf noir film. So instead of a whodunit, it's who is the werewolf? And I meet Bronzy, and he's Hungarian, and he looks, that camera loves him. And yeah, it's like an uncanny Charles Bronson thing. And I was like, this is so crazy. This is weird. Well, then I did a deep dive, and people, like, there is a huge fan base who love this guy's movies. There's something a little, it's so funny because then you'll get like these reviewers and they don't get it. They go, you know, what kind of crap is this? A knockoff Charles Bronson movie? And I'm like, yeah, it's called 12 to Midnight instead of 10 to Midnight. Like, if you actually watch the trailer, it's like kind of they're, you know, the same beats as the other ones. So, you know, these are like fan silly buster movies, Buster. And so they're a lot of fun. And for the people who dig them, they really dig them, and they get to feel like, you know, in the know. We shot in Pennsylvania, which was really cool, in an actual mine, which was great. Like, it was so cool. You know, you actually like go under and the temperature changes. It's really cold. And why do I feel like we had earplugs, but I don't know what we had. But and if you're a Daniel Roebuck fan, he's in it. And if you're a Tito Ortiz fan, I'm in Orange County, so that was a big. Oh, Terri, you would know more about. Yeah.
I've met Tito before I know his wife. So for the Facebook.
He's super dope, and you know, like,
I've met him like once. I don't know if you remember me, but I've met him a couple of times. So, but yeah, I do. They're great. So
he's like down to earth, and you know, this is like a funny. Yeah, these movies are really funny because you're like running in the middle of the woods with a guy who's got a werewolf mask on, and you know, these things are kind of funny because they're shot like I'm in Pennsylvania, so I get there and my sheriff wardrobe is like size super jumbo, and I go, what is this? And they go, oh, well, we got you a size 6. You know, I'm still working on the baby weight, and I go, yeah, but this says a size 12 men's. So we're like trying to like tie it up, and I'm waiting for my gun. I mean, these things are kind of funny, but I have to tell you, I was nervous about playing a sheriff, but the second they put the holster on you, like that's 25% of it. I started with one hand on my gun. I was like, dude, I would love to do a cop show. That would be so fun, because you start like, is this wrong to say like you're kind of leading with your pelvis, because that's like your gun, you're centered. So yeah, that was it's 12 to midnight.
Hey Sadie, when did you know you wanted to be an actress?
I was 4 or 5, and I was in grade school. And all these girls came up to me who were upper graders, like in 5th grade. And they came up and said to this little 1st grader, will you be Madonna? And we're going to be your backup singers for Material Girl. And I don't remember rehearsing. I knew the song well. And then I did a, you know, lip sync when you didn't have to have talent to be in school, you know, so we lip sync. And so we got on stage, the curtain opens, and I froze. My heart was pounding so badly, and I just kept looking out, and I thought, I want to be like Judy Garland. Like, this is amazing. And I think I saw my mom in the audience, like telling me to move. And I don't think I moved that much. I was mesmerized with the idea. And then I spent all next year rehearsing, and I did like If I Only Have a Brain or something from Wizard of Oz. But that was like, I never, you know, you get the bug, they say, like that was everything I was about, you know, like I'd go and practice crying in the mirror, and I would write down on a typewriter, and, you know, our little big ass typewriter that was missing an E, and I would write down scripts, and then I would perform them. And I feel like it's been a gift, because I don't think until recently that I realized, like, oh, I got to have like direction. So sometimes that made all my decisions for me. Like, oh, I can't move because I've got acting. I can't do this. I like, you know, it sort of gave me, beyond being just a mom, which is my favorite job ever, but it did give me some real like direction and passion. And you know, I have to say, times where I kind of went away from it and like just needed a break, it helped me like have to go, like all of a sudden my phone rings and I'm like, I'm not doing a job. I'll be there next week.
Yeah.
Exactly. it becomes your touchstone, it's your church. It's like
Yeah.
so you just keep, every time I'm like at the absolute worst, where I'm like, I don't know, life is kicking me in the teeth, I go, oh shit, well, I've got to shoot another 2 weeks, so I guess I'll get to yoga and I'll stop drinking dirty and eat clean. Start slapping myself in the face and going, okay, let's get back in gear. And it does. It's kind of such a gift, because then you show up and you forget, you get that first take and it goes really well. And you're like, I'm all in it again. And I'm a junkie.
It's an escape from reality when you're acting. It really is, because you get to go be somebody else and do things you normally wouldn't want to do. So, it's a lot of fun, to get that escape. So I get that thrill of it, especially when you're really into that character and that role.
And it's an adrenaline thing. Like, don't you think you get crazy? Sometimes I'm like really frustrated about something, and I'll, the old adage, Howard knows this, use it. You got to use it. But I really do. I'm like, when do you get to have like a full on unload, screaming at someone, freaking out? And there's something so weird and therapeutic about it. And you
screaming,
embarrassed. Do you ever, like, it's really hard to really embarrass me. I'm more embarrassed if I accidentally hurt someone's feelings, because I've done such ridiculous things. Like, you're like, hold on. Okay, I'm ready. I'm going to act possessed. Like, who's going to tell you how to act possessed? You can watch the video, you're like, but I'm going to, and you got to find it, and you start moving your body and hope and knowing that half the internet is going to tell you that you're wasting your life and you're ridiculous. And, so you really become like your own cheerleader. And every now and then someone throws your bone and says that wasn't that embarrassing. It was pretty good. That's what you hope.
Yeah, well, I mean, I always think, you can't care what other people think, because there's always going to be people that are going to judge you and try to hold you back. Yeah. So you always have to do what your passion is and in your heart. But I was going to bring up too with improv. Improv is so powerful, because I've taken a lot of improv classes, and it's just so great if you play off each other and you don't know what's going to happen. That to me is one of my favorite things to do. Yeah. So there's also a thing, like, it's a good thing to do the screaming, but comedy is also another big relief too. So, and I've wanted to get back into doing a lot of comedy, because I used to be really funny. So anyway, I would like to just start
you to be funny. You're kind of still funny. You're kind of still funny.
Funny if I'm in a good mood, I can be really funny. So I always make my friends laugh. So, and it gets a lot of that negative energy out. But back to screaming, I went to Magic Mountain for my birthday, and nothing was better than getting on those roller coasters and screaming.
Is that like Orlando when you were in Florida? Is that
no? I went to Magic Mountain, Six Flags here in Valencia.
Oh.
There's a Six Flags Magic Mountain in Valencia. Yeah, okay. So we were able to go on all the roller coasters, and
I can't.
My friends took me on a surprise birthday trip, which my birthday was last Tuesday. And
happy birthday!
We all went on roller coasters and scream, and it was so much fun.
Aw, it's awesome.
All right, let's take a look at this next clip. We had Sean McNamara on, and Rebel says, "Happy birthday, Terri."
Oh, thank you.
Oh, pretty good.
Short.
There's nothing a retired governor can do about the Soviets, but a president, now he can do a thing or two.
Welcome to your life.
I was a lifeguard on a river.
There's no turning back.
And I learned how to read the currents. Not just the ones on the surface, but also the ones deep underneath the water. I am about to start the biggest war of this century, and I'm not going to fire a single shot.
You're going to blow up 8 years of diplomacy.
Well, if you think that got their undies in a wad, you just wait.
What did the president know, and when did he know it?
What would you have me do?
I want you to fight.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Wants to rule the world.
Most people.
All right, Terri. So this is my birthday wish to you, Terri. You get to come to the red carpet for that.
Yeah,
Since
I'm
you're a
excited.
Ronald Reagan fan. Oh, and
Yeah.
you're gonna like this too. John Voight is in it, Terri.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I remember that. Yeah. It's going to be fun. I can't wait.
So that'll be fun to do that. We had to show that trailer because I believe, and I'm jumping way ahead, I think this film will be nominated, for next year's Oscars and everything. That's just my prediction of what I see. Can't wait to see it. So we'll see it August 20th. We will see it.
Mm-hmm.
That looks great. Who's playing Nancy Reagan?
Penelope Ann Miller.
Wow. I think that, when I was a kid, like my parents loved Ronald Reagan. Like
So did mine.
loved, like, yes, obsessed. I'm from Orange County, so it's like in the water there. And thank God, but wink, wink. But it's like that looks so great. What a great trailer. Do you think, I hope the movie's as good as the trailer?
Looks amazing. My dad, on your note, had a big picture of Ronald Reagan in our garage.
Well,
I grew up as a Reagan Republican. Huh?
That'll be fun to go to that premiere. Hey, Sadie, what do you when it comes to? So you like that trailer? Would you go to pay to see the movie?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And that's what it's about. Because again, as you know, it's about getting people to go see those theatrical releases. Because horror is just ingrained in. People are going to see it one way or another. Rachel may watch it out of her house. Terri may watch it out of her house. Howard, he's not going to watch it. He would rather be starring in it. I only want to watch the good ones. And I'll tell you the reason why, because there's so many of them, I can't keep up anymore. But if it's one of my friends in them, I will watch it, like Russell Crowe and the Exorcist one that he did. Yeah. It was good. Wasn't bad. And it made me watch it. The other thing is I can only watch them during the day now because I'm like, they'll be coming at me in my dreams at night. So I can't watch them at night anymore.
Same. I'm a chicken. I actually like that. It looks like it's not going to be like a partisan movie. Like it's not trying to tell us anything other than his story. And I think about the wall coming down. It feels odd that that was such a huge thing in my childhood. Like it was I remember just watching it, like sobbing, and it was like what a great time it used to be before the internet. I mean, there's good things, but I feel like I don't really know. I don't know, I don't know the history behind it. I know my mom would get really mad that Nancy Reagan would consult fortune tellers. Remember that was like a big controversy.
Oh gosh, yeah. I don't really remember. I don't think my parents didn't care about that. Well, I don't remember that part of the story. I just don't.
Well, yeah, she wouldn't do anything. Well, I'm like that. She wouldn't do anything if there was a retrograde. She wanted to make sure that he was protected. That's a big, huge thing of that.
That's so Brian.
I look at people's horoscopes, or like before I have a meeting, I get really crazy about it.
Yeah.
And mostly I just wanted to say it's going to be good, It's
going to be good until it's not.
Right.
After all, you work on horror films, so you know all the behind the scenes magic.
I mean, I do a lot of other genres besides horror. Not that I'm trading on horror, but I do think overall, like, don't you feel like being in the business, you're a bit of a gambler? So like gamblers have all these lucky things they do, so much is out of your control and it doesn't make any sense. Like, some of my best jobs were like dumb luck, just really ridiculous, or they weren't the things that I worked so hard for. The jobs that I really loved, I was like, not in all cases. There was a couple I really break my ass for, but So that's where I get into like, I have to wear this shirt, or, I want to look at my sign and maybe call the next day. It's a Libra thing. It's
and that's why we get along, because it is a Libra thing.
yes, I know it is, right? Libras love each other. Yeah.
Absolutely. Don't we? See, I'm hugging her already.
There you go.
Hey, so let's look at this other film that you guys don't know about, but I saw 2 years ago when we picked it. So the red carpet will be in Chicago, and we'll talk about it on the other side.
My father, Edward Jones, he was a gentleman. He was just a good person.
Ed Jones was a genius.
They made about $110, $115 million, which was equivalent to about $1 billion then.
Long before there was a state lottery, there was this illegal numbers game called policy, controlled by black men called policy kings.
This is the first policy station owned by the Jones brothers. In the back is policy action.
Policy was an economic arm of the black community.
The feds went after the Jones brothers. It really didn't have anything to do with gambling.
Ed Jones had a lot to do with the shift from Republican to Democrat.
This was really a move by the government designed to get this black man out of power and out of influence. Poe used the gun to get what he wanted. Ed Jones used the gun to protect what he had.
My father was never a gangster.
Maybe he's a gangster.
This takeover probably couldn't happen without political blessing.
It's so important to understand your history, because if you know where you come from, that helps you get where you're going.
All right, everyone, tell me what you thought about this before I tell you what it is. Sadie?
I mean, it looks like a great doc. It's crazy. I haven't heard any story like that. I'm a doc person. I watch a lot of documentaries.
Me too. Terri, what did you think about that?
It looks good. I mean, you know me, I'm a documentary person too. I mean, I pretty watch almost every documentary on Netflix.
Rachel and Howard?
That's good. Let's watch it. I want to see some more.
I like the fact he said you got to know your history to know where you're going, and that's true. So, yeah.
Well, and Rebel says, Richard Pryor, Harlem Nights. Very good pick on that. So this film is produced by Quincy Jones and Debbie Allen. So when I found this film 2 years ago, I've been championing it ever since. I said it should go to Byron Allen. Byron Allen Media Group, he owns the Weather Channel and 29 cable outlets now around the country. He's become that successful. Byron used to do junkets just like Ed did, except he went and did a lot of this stuff, and now he's that mogul. So the premiere, I'm taking Linda Steele to this premiere because her mom grew up in that area. I'd love to see her mom come to see this. So Debbie Allen will be there in Chicago for the premiere of that with Harriet Marin. And the fact that Byron Allen, purchased it through Freestyle Media, in the doc, she did everything I told her to do. And congratulations to her on that. It's also won 30 awards at film festivals, so I couldn't be happier for her. And then the LA premiere, Terri, if you want to go to that, Quincy Jones will be at that one. Byron Allen will be at that one, and a bunch of other, people, because a lot of people didn't know the story. So the Chicago lottery came out of this. The mob came out of this because the mob wasn't doing that. He was doing that first. It's a very interesting story.
Happy birthday to Linda Steele.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Hey, Sadie, I was going to ask you a couple things on Scorned. I love that film. Before I knew who you were, I loved that film. Talk about that, why that meant a lot to you.
So my writing partner, Mark Jones, which if you're a fan of Leprechaun, That's his big thing was, he's a writer director of Leprechaun. He's responsible for that gnarly franchise. That's one of the many things that he's done. But this was, gosh, when we wrote it, it was before I played a lead in a feature film. So I was kind of like going on all these auditions and then getting student films, and I kept getting like waiting on tape. When you're an actor, especially back in the day, it's different now, but a lot of people, you wait for your reels to make these reels, and it would take freaking years, and it was crazy. And so we had this idea, because I'm going crazy as a forte of mine. I was always a theater actress, and I played some really gnarly roles. So we had this idea that we'd do a single location like showcase for me. And the joke was like, a girl whose boyfriend breaks up with her and cheats on her with her best friend. And she, is off her medicines, and she goes off the rails. And we were big fans of oh my gosh, my brain, mom brain.
Yeah.
What's the damn movie where she takes the writer, Kathy Bates takes the writer, Misery.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So we were like always talking about Misery, and truthfully, we'd be having some drinks, and we started saying like, what would happen if a woman, who's been scorned, wasn't stopped? So along the lines of Fatal Attraction and everything, we started writing this really cheeky script for me to be the lead in, and that was kind of like ridiculous and over the top, but also like those sexy 90s thrillers where it's like just devilish and naughty. And then something crazy happened. We, instead of it being like trying to get a couple $100,000 and I get to be the lead, and that would be my big movie. Something crazy happened, and we ended up getting it sold to Anchor Bay for like $2.5 million. So we're on the phone, and we're getting like this really great call from Mark's agent. Who's like, guess what? You sold it, and they're going to give you $2.5 million to do it. And I'm smiling with tears running down my face, because I was like, there's no way I'm getting to get to this $2 million movie, especially like I had never been the lead in a feature film. So that was like a really crazy thing. But then they had Anna Lynn McCord play the lead character, who is really an underrated actress. She's brilliant. She's really good at playing freaking nuts. Like no one else. And like it's very fun to watch someone play nuts who is having so much fun in the middle of it, like holding on to it hard. And she was definitely and she also didn't just play a caricature. She really connected to how you feel as a woman being, scorned in this way with her best friend. So that was like a really kind of a cool thing. And then by the time the film went to be shot, I had just gotten cast in like Nipples and Palm Trees, the sexy rom-com. And then I did House of Bad, and then I did this other movie. And then, I remember saying, gosh, but I really worked on this character so much, which was so funny, because then when Wrong Turn came around, that character was so in my blood that I was able to bring like that thing with me, which ended up being obviously a much bigger movie for me, and a huge opportunity. So, and it's funny, I wonder if I would have understood how to attack that character on film the way that I did to, beat out whatever thousands of actresses who were going for that part. So it's kind of funny how things go a certain way, but I think it's delicious. I wish Anna Lynn would have gotten more credit. It's such a cheeky movie. I hate the music in the movie. I feel like if the music would have been Am I allowed to put down the? But like, if the music would have been a little more cheeky, people might have got that the movie didn't take itself seriously. Which I'm glad that you got, Brian, but that's because you watch a lot of movies and you're like well versed in it. I feel like there's a couple scenes, like, you know, the character's name is Sadie. We wrote it that way, and then we were gonna switch it, and everyone's like, "That's the perfect crazy girl name." So, so we did. Like, you don't mess with the Sadie; she'll come after you. So, you know, the character is like, I'm gonna, if you don't, you know, now you guys need to hook up in front of me, you know, her best friend and her boyfriend, played by Billy Zane, by the way, who, like, she takes the dog and she pretends that she's gonna microwave it. And of course the dog's running around in the house and keeps messing with them in different ways. And I think Anna Lynn really got the character and understood it. I always thought that it deserved a little more hype, but I'll tell you, I get Writers Guild checks all the time. They play it on Stars all the time. So people are seeing it and I get little notes from it. It's crazy. I remember being really heartbroken about not getting to do it. And I got to, I don't know if you remember, but I have a small like cameo at the end. And I remember flying out, and it was sort of like going to your own wedding, but the groom marrying someone else. Like, you might as well just rip out your heart and like stomp it. Everyone's having oh, it was one of those things. But it's funny now because I it's kind of thrilling because it's such a cheeky movie, you know.
You know, the fun thing about that, I was in home video then. That film did so well. Anchor Bay was one of the, you know, the great distribution things there at that point. Barry Barnhart's my friend. He owned Trimark and Vidmark Pictures, if you remember that. And so the Leprechaun series did extremely well. People are still catching up with those who weren't born yet, and that's fascinating. So we got about 4 minutes left. Howard, let's talk about what you're wearing, what room you're in. Go for it.
I'm in the guest bedroom looking down at the hallway. Got a new purple jacket. Yesterday I went shopping and got a pink suit. I got a new black and gold tuxedo coat. And then I got all black outfit to play the cop. So that's it.
Rachel, let's talk about your cups. That beautiful coffee cup. Let's talk about that. We got to get the people buying them.
Okay. Yeah. I should have one beside me. I don't. Also doing subscribing. I have a little show in the morning called Coffee Talk. I talk about bullshit. It's fun, and watch it. Got merchandise to sell, but that's whatever. Follow me, Rachel Ann Roberts.
Yes. All right. So Terri, you got some. We're getting into Emmy season. We got some things coming up. Let's talk about why you like doing red carpets. Talk about that.
I don't know. I like to talk to other actors about their projects. It's always interesting to hear, about their experiences with their characters. We also do, athletes. We've interviewed social media people. So it's just fascinating to hear, different stories and different views on things. I don't know. I like to, hear people with different opinions as well.
So I have two films. So I hadn't gotten the chance to see this. So Diana, who's upstairs, she turned me on to Interview with the Vampire series on AMC.
That's a great show.
Excellent series if you hadn't seen it. And I was late to catching on that. And then I guess we're going to watch The Serpent and something on Stars now, because I used to watch Stars all the time. Not everybody has it. Not everybody has the same things. Not everybody has cable. Some people just stream certain things. That's why it's always fascinating to talk about films. All right. So Sadie, you get the last word on things. What do you got coming up? And give you social media links.
Okay. And thank you so much for having me on. And you guys are so lovely. I would love to go on your coffee talk. Can we talk?
Yes.
That would be great. And Terri, whatever you do, and Howard, please come and go shopping with me and redo my closet. That's a nice closet. Yes, please check out 12 to Midnight. Have fun with it. Have a couple of beers. Yeah. And follow me at Sadie Katz on Instagram would be great. SADIEKATZ. There's a zoo right there. And yeah, I've got some fun things coming out this December too. The Beast Inside, which is a big deal. And I have an action film coming out called Clutch. That should be out within the next, I don't know, 6 months or so. And I think Hanukkah is being re-released uncut. If you're a real horror fan, you'll know about that. So we'll see. We'll see who we're gonna offend this time.
Howard Wiggins, social media links.
Howard Wiggins Facebook, Howard Wiggins Twitter, and of course, Movies, Reviews, and More.
Rachel, one more time, social media links.
Rachel Ann Roberts, Rachel Roberts Recipes.
And subscribe to her website and buy her coffee cup because they're beautiful.
You're so funny.
Terri Marie Nonstop on all platforms, and then terrimarieofficial.com website.
All right, everybody. I have to always thank everybody for coming on because it's never easy. This was the easy show, and I look forward to this one. So I say this. Have a good night tonight, a better day tomorrow. You see someone without a smile, please give them one of yours because the world needs it. I'm Brian Sebastian. This is Movie Reviews and More, and we will see you next week.
Bye, everyone.